Do you know what is this? This is a knowledge base. This is actually a database where all of these dots are those important subjects, the important things mentioned into the document I processed into the analysis. I used for this example the transcript from the most recent public conversation we had into the channel. And all of these information were extracted. We can zoom in and see all these things mentioned during the conversation, and the lines can show us what is the relationship between the linked nodes, the linked nodes. Now, here's the thing. How can we use it? What is the reason to have it? Why should we process our documents in this kind of analysis and get this kind of thing? The first thing is that we can get into a chat. If we store with in that way the information, AI can very easily query, and which means search to find the answers into our questions. And let's go and see it, how it works. We have here the chatting experience. So this chat will not search around the globe for the general information, what AI doesn't know, but instead it's gonna give us back information that is mentioned and it was clear into this conversation. Let me give you an example. What do you know about Palcor database? Palcor databases is a graph database software. We discuss about it. It was just mentioned as a reference from a guy who joined the conversation. He explained us just for a couple of seconds that in his project they're using it, how they're using it, and that's fine. So we don't have enough context about what really is this software and what it can do. And now the chat, what did was, first of all, it had to understand what are we talking about and what is important for us to have as a reasonable response. That's why it took that much time. And then went into our brain right here to find the relevant information. And it gave us this output. This is exactly the greatest fit based on the conversation we had about this thing. And here also it mentions how it found this information, mentioning the results. We can also open here this tab of details where we can see the confidence score and the semantic match. Which are these two numbers mean? The Claude confidence score is how confident is Claude, because this is the AI linked behind the scenes, to answer our question with the information it found. So it feels 54% confident, which is a good statistic. Then we have the semantic match. The semantic match is a statistical metric where we can measure the relative information we have into our question with the existed data into our database. This is statistical and it helps us to understand how well this question and answer feature actually works. The closer to 50% and above, it's pretty good score. And here we can see which are the steps the model followed to give us the response. And here is the knowledge source. Where are these information stored into our brain? These are dots and information from the brain. Now, let me show you how you can upload your documents into the Brain Graph. Brain Graph is the service I created for exactly that reason. So you can build your knowledge base, avoiding all the technical friction that is needed to be done. So here are the steps. You can come here into this page, upload your documents, and you can upload any kind of document you may have. You can upload transcripts, which are unstructured data, and they can be processed normally. You can also upload PDF documents that include images, and those images can be diagrams or charts. In that case, the process is responsible to understand what is your input and what is the right approach to analyze it. For the case of charts, specifically, there is a specific path that follows, and what it does is extracting the images from the document, tries to understand the context right in those images, and from there, goes back to the document, recognize where is the position of those images, and makes the connection, the meaningful connection, exactly as your brain and my brain is going to date reading this document by yourself. And in that way, it connects the information coming from the chart with the rest of the context. And after that, process into the extraction of the information to make these dots and lines, we call them nodes and edges. And this is it. Now, the question that comes to you is how BrainGraph knows what is important for you from these documents to be extracted, because we have to guide the model what is important for us. If we come down here, we have a list of prompts. Do you see them? These are prompts, predefined prompts, where we guide specifically how we want the analysis to be done, what is important for every case. So if we upload a transcript for example, from a client conversation, we can use this prompt. If we have an introductory call, we can use this thing. And let me show you how you can create and manage your analysis prompts. Let's go here. Here are all those pre-created prompts for me. Let's go and create a new one. Let's say that we want to create a new prompt to analyze the transcripts from the conversations with our business coaches. Business coach. All right. Here we have to put what is important for us from those documents. Let's say I want to track. I'm giving them as an example right now. Problems. Oops. Problems mentioned. Suggested solutions. Books suggested. What else do we want to know from our business consultant? Warnings mentioned. We may want to know if we have an exercise for the next week. And that's all. That's fine. So we just create it. Of course, we don't have to be prompt engineers or prompt experts. That's not for us. The goal of BrainGraph and my personal goal is to build tools that can take out of you all the technical friction. So we come here, we get into the AI prompt assistant, and we can ask it, hey, take my focus notes and give me the analysis prompt. And now this is not an AI agent. This is an AI feature integrated with Claude that is responsible to first read your input, which is highly evaluated information, high weighted actually information, and also take some notes with guidance. I predefine it for it so it can drive the analysis in a specific way. So here is the outcome, and with one button we can have this nice and very well structured prompt. Here it is. Perfect. This is what I want to use. We click save, and now if we go to upload the document, we're going to say it right here, business coach. So we can upload it. That's it. The next a nice feature after the chatting is the 3 intelligent nuggets. Let me tell you about them. These are 3 separated AI agents who are responsible to find the most important information, scanning the entire brain. So every time we import new data and we upload more documents, what's happening in here is the brain is getting more knowledgeable, new information coming in. And for the existing information, we track what is the new information. And we also, behind the scenes, by default, would track the dates of updates. So we can see the chronological change of this information, exactly as our brain has to do it. If I say you an information in this video, and then you go in the video that I may publish, I don't know, 2 weeks from now, you have to track this process of the new information and say, okay, this is new. Things have been changed, and so on. So, how these 3 engines actually work? Each one acts totally separately from the others. And the first one is responsible to recognize the business opportunities for us. What is a nice opportunity for us so we can focus and drive the business at this point? Now, you may be thinking how the brain graph knows what is important for us and what it isn't, how to recognize that. I'm going to show you here. Here is hidden. We can store our business profile data right here. The terms and the more information we add here, the greater value we give. And that way we can help the model to understand who we are, what is our business goal, and where we want to go. So it knows from the entire brain what is important for us. And in the same way, actually, work the guy who is responsible for the blind spots. Blind spots are all those information that may be warnings for our business, critical alarming things, or things that it would be better to not avoid. And the third guy, who is a good friend of us, is responsible to give us back some content ideas. Don't be confused. This is not to create your content. This is a guy who is responsible to put some notes for content. You can, ideas for your content, you can take them as notes and make them actual deliverable piece of content. You may use it as to make a video, you may use it to create a LinkedIn post or a blog post, whatever it works to you. You can use them through all your channels. It doesn't matter. This is responsible just to give you the hint. And from here, we can expand it and we can see from this information a deeper reference into the knowledge base and the data that have been used, with the explanation from the agent why he thinks that this is a nice and cool idea for our content. And from this pattern, we can give back to this agent our feedback. This is very helpful for the agent. So from the first and second feedback we give to him, he can understand what is important, where do we want to focus, and say, okay, this is important. Let's focus on that direction, because this is what Dimitris is needing. And the last thing is that we can have all the content ideas stored in one place, so we can come here and look at them again. The point is that these content ideas, every time we have an outcome from the content agent, all this information is stored here. But every time we upload a new document, all the 3 guys scan the entire brain to find the most recent ones. So they are responsible also to recognize what is a repeating concept, what is mentioned again, or what is mentioned as a problem and we may forgot it. These kind of things. A nice alarming, for example, information is a problem that mentioned in a conversation with a client 1 2 weeks ago, and in the new conversation we had no reference. So it is responsible to tell us, hey, you didn't do anything about this problem. You may have to think about it because your client is hurting that. And the last thing is your feedback. From this button, you can give me your feedback about the use of BrainGraph so I can know more about what is useful to you, what is your experience in using it, and how can I make it actually a better product for your business. That's the goal, the best thing you can give me back on that. So that's it.